What's up, boys? We're back. Today we're going to be talking about UFC fighters who just get a little bit too much hate for my liking. I made a video similar to this about UFC fighters who don't get enough hate a couple months ago, so make sure to check that one out. We're trying to hit 700 subscribers by the end of the month, so let's get it. The first fighter, the first division we have, flyweight. The fighter I have for this division is Manel Kape. This guy is he was experiencing a lot of hate after that Muhammad Mokaev fight, rightfully. I mean, this guy said he was going to kill Muhammad Mokaev. They were about to fight before the fight. And then they just stand and look at each other and putting it on one of the most boring fights I've ever seen. Manel Kape doesn't deserve the hate now coming off those 2 wins. He's really active, and he's a fun fighter when he actually wants to be. Manel Kape obviously just put away Atsu Amabayev the other day in a really dominating fashion. I do think we should give this man a title shot if Pantoja is not going up to bantamweight to fight Merab. If Pantoja doesn't go up, Manel Kape should be rightfully next. I don't even think we do a number one contender fight with Kai Kara France. If Pantoja does go up, we do that fight. But if not, give Manel Kape the fight as it is. The next fighter I have, the next division we have, bantamweight. It's going to be Henry Cejudo. Listen, dude. Henry Cejudo, man. Henry Cejudo. This guy, in recent years, it's understandable to hate him. He's the king of cringe, after all. But don't forget about this man in his prime. Don't forget about this guy, what this guy did to Demetrius Johnson. Don't forget about what this guy did to TJ Dillashaw. Don't forget about what this guy did to Dominic Cruz. He was on a different level. Early 2020, late 2019, this guy was knocking out literally everyone. Did he knock out like who? Marlon Moraes too. This guy was unstoppable, dude. One of the greatest of all time in his prime, and we have to account for that. We do, because it's understandable to hate on this guy when he's faking eye pokes, when he's putting on boring performances, when he's getting dominated by Merab Dvalishvili, and but don't forget who this guy was in his prime. Henry Cejudo was a different beast. The next fighter we have, the thumbnail of this video, Aljamain Sterling. This guy is a beast. I love Aljo. How do you not love Aljo, dude? Honestly, how do you not love Aljo? What Aljo has done for the sport? Arguably the bantamweight GOAT. Arguably the bantamweight GOAT. There's a valid argument for Merab being the bantamweight GOAT. This guy's also up there. Aljamain Sterling, he won the belt in dodgy fashion against Peter Yan. So, okay, that is true, and that's understandable why a lot of people don't like him for that, because he kind of faked that injury, if you will. But he beat Peter Yan in the very next fight. Fair. The people forget about that. That Aljo kind of not easily, but put it on Peter Yan in the next fight and won convincingly. And obviously he's defended the title 3 times, 2 times. I could be wrong. This guy, O'Malley slept him, but O'Malley does that to everybody. It's easy to hate Aljo, but when you look at what this guy has done, getting wins at multiple divisions, arguably a decent top contender at featherweight now, give Aljo his flowers, please. Give Aljo his flowers. Moving on to the next division we do have is lightweight. The person I have for lightweight is Benoit Saint Denis, BSD. Obviously, once a top contender, now this guy, everyone hates on this man. I don't think he's as cooked as a lot of people think he is, dude. I mean, there's a rumored fight with him and Joel Alvarez, which I don't hate that fight for him. A lot of people, just any fight this guy gets rumored in, BSD's cooked, bro. Don't forget about 2 fights ago when this guy was a favorite over Dustin frickin' Poirier, arguably one of the greatest fighters of all time. And you're not even giving him a chance now. Why aren't you giving BSD a chance now, dude? Don't forget what BSD did in that incredible run, defeating Matt Favola, defeating a bunch of people. This guy, maybe he's not a future champ like we all thought he was, but he can obviously be a future Fight Night main eventer. And win an interim championship, dude. I don't know. He probably is a little bit cooked. But there's definitely he's not as cooked as a lot of people think he is. I rate BSD, sorry. And this guy, he's a decently well-rounded fighter. Yeah, if he can go into a fight camp that he's actually healthy in, I think he's gonna get the win 9 times out of 10. So we give him like an unranked fighter now. I think he's like 15th in the lightweight division, which is kind of cooked. But this guy's still valuable. This guy's still a top prospect in the lightweight division. People hate on him. BSD's not as cooked as you think he is. Give BSD his flowers. And flowers for what? Getting knocked out by Dustin Poirier? I'm just yapping now about BSD. Moving on to the next division we do have, welterweight. And everyone has no reason to hate this man, dude, because there comes a time in a man's life when he has to pay the bills, man. There's 3 things in life: death, taxes, and Colby Covington being a B word. Colby Covington had to do it. Dude, he had to become this evil character that we all hate today for one reason. The UFC was going to cut him. The UFC was going to cut this man when he was ranked 8th. When he was the 8th welterweight in the world. they were gonna cut him. So he had to switch something up. He had to be this character. And there's many instances where we see this guy in videos being nice to fighters, being nice to Kamaru Usman, dabbing Kamaru Usman up, saying what's up to Michael Chandler, saying what's up to Dustin Poirier, because it's an act. And I think it's very obvious that it's an act. Maybe sometimes he's gone too far, like when he said stuff about Leon Edwards' dad. But deep down, this is a man who's innocent, who just needed to pay the bills, who just needed a job, who just needed to fulfill his dreams of getting to the UFC, and then they're about to cut him. Colby Covington's not a bad guy. I feel like I'm getting deep here. Colby Covington's not a bad guy, though, dude. He's a good man, and, yeah. It's a character, obviously. Moving on, we have, for middleweight, we do have Israel Adesanya. Hey, Adesanya, come to daddy. Hey, Adesanya. Okay, Israel Adesanya. You know, Adesanya, a lot of people hate on this guy, and he's the second best middleweight of all time, sorry. I do think that he is a valid argument for being the best, dude, but... You know, Israel Adesanya is decently funny. Sometimes he's not funny, which is why a lot of people hate him, though. Like, when he made that joke about I'm gonna leave you frozen like Elsa. I'm gonna leave you frozen like Elsa, bro. He's really entertaining. I spelled entertaining horribly wrong. Oh, jeez. Entar in an ing. He has an entar in ing fighting style. But, you know, this guy emotes mid-fights. He does certainly hype up fights to make them better, like someone else later in this video. You can't get mad at Israel Adesanya, dude. This man is a beast. And arguably the best middleweight of all time, dude. He's washed now, but in his prime, don't forget. Moving on to the next fighter we have is Magomed Ankalaev, Big Ank, who's fighting this weekend. Inspired me to make this video, actually. He's not boring, though. A lot of people have the idea that this guy's boring. A lot of people have the idea that this guy is just another Dagestani wrestler who just grapples on you for 15 minutes, and he's not, dude. You look at this guy's past fights. The most recent fight ended in a unanimous decision against Rakic. Before that, this guy knocked out Johnny Walker. And before that, he had a weird no contest with Johnny Walker. But before that, this guy went to life and death with Jan Blachowicz. He knocked out Anthony Smith. This guy's not boring. I don't know where the idea came from. And he's actually good, dude. This guy's actually good. Like, I feel like a lot of people aren't talking. This guy's, like, up there with one of the best lightweights of all time. Obviously, no one will ever be better than John Jones in that division. But you look at his resume, dude. He has wins over Rakic. He has wins over Johnny Walker. He has wins over Anthony Smith, Jan Blachowicz, Thiago Santos, Ozdemir, Nikita Krylov, Ian Kudalaba. This guy has a lot of good wins. And Alex Pereira on this resume. If you're one of those people who think you take the person you beat's resume, then he would be Alex Pereira and a bunch of other people on top of that, dude. Magomed Ankalaev could be one of the best light heavyweights of all time if he wins this weekend. He's actually pretty much undefeated too. If you're really gonna count that last second win or loss that he had against Paul Craig, where he was dominating that whole fight, he got caught in an armbar or triangle. You can't count that, dude. This guy's pretty much 21-0. And yeah, dude, this guy's really underrated. I'm not a glazer of this guy like Kenny Okoye.
Why is this guy saying collab with Octagon Outpost and you're Octagon Outpost? Bro, I'm not collabing with you.
But, you know, yeah. Moving on to the next fighter, we do have, it's the heavyweight division. It is the heavyweight division, the fat people, except this guy's not fat. Jailton Almeida. This guy I'm like the most passionate about in this video because I have no idea where this guy's hated. Like, in the heavyweight division, there's a lot of people to hate on, dude. There's Taito Iwasu, who's on a 5-fight losing streak and is literally fat. There's people like John Jones, who's dodging Tom Aspinall very obviously. There's people like Ciro Gane, who are horrible, put their movie career over the UFC. But for some reason, a lot of people choose to hate on Jailton Almeida. Why? This guy, he doesn't have a bad style. He's a wrestler, and he had one boring fight in the UFC. I understand it was a really boring fight against Derek Lewis. But other than that, in the UFC, this guy has the same finish rate as Shavkat Rakhmonov. Let that sink in. Let that sink in, dude. This guy has finished everyone except Derek Lewis. Where did that belief come from that this man was, Jailton Almeida's fighting this weekend, bro. He's so boring, bro. He's so boring. No, this guy is actually entertaining. I'd go as far as saying this guy's entertaining. I mean, look at all his fights in the UFC. He started off with a sub. Then he was in a KO. Then a sub again. Then a sub again. Then in a KO. Then he submitted Rosenstruck. Then he had that boring fight against Derek Lewis. But after that, he lost to Curtis Blades by KO. Then he submitted Romanov. And then he knocked out Sergey Spivak. So, This guy's not boring. I promise you. Don't get gaslighted by these idiots who don't know anything about the UFC. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Remember, we're trying to hit 700 subscribers by the end of the month. I do think it's possible. But thank you guys for watching. Octagon Outpost out.